everybody, this is Patty with the Leather Lady, Winter Circle Equine Center. You guys know me mainly as the Leather Lady or the old way, the Blanket Lady way back when. I've done many of your blankets, but here this time I am actually just wanting to talk to you about this winter season and your blankets, what to look for, what to make sure that you're getting your money's worth out of your service that you're using, whether you use me or somebody else, doesn't matter. Or maybe you're even using your own machine at home, and I'll tell you something that's going to happen with those machines because of the weight of the blankets. But let's go with helping you right now. So with your blankets, please, 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 when you go to a service, don't be afraid to ask any questions. You should be able to ask anything about your blankets. Blankets are expensive, especially in the Northwest. We've got a lot of waterproofing, and that's what I really want to focus in on. These blankets, these waterproof blankets that you get, doesn't matter what company, brand, or anything, they're not meant to be on your horses 24/7. So when I get the blankets and I see they are just packed full of poo and all kinds of stuff, it tells me that the blankets most likely is probably being worn all the time. The idea of a waterproof blanket is to be worn outside in the rain while it's happening, and then as that horse comes in the stable or a dry area, it needs to be removed and another blanket put on. We call that a stable blanket, or just a regular heavy blanket. Doesn't have to be waterproof. There's a lot of reasons why you want to do this. Two main things is it protects the waterproofing of your waterproof blanket, but two, it helps your horse's skin and hair. So if you're wearing those blankets 24/7, it doesn't allow that skin to breathe. You got to remember there's a waterproof layer melded to that fabric, so it's very hard to breathe in there. Even if it says it's breathable, you can actually get a lot more fungus, a lot more skin issues, and then depending on how you clean and repair your blankets, that could also create more of a skin irritation problem as well, because many people use the wrong detergents, or even some of the services out there use the wrong detergents. So you have to be really, really mindful on what you are putting on your products. And the reason why you want to change those blankets is to give it time to breathe, air out, shake out some of that dirt and dust, scrape it off so that you're not repeating that onto the horse's skin. A lot of people don't know that, but it's really not good to leave those blankets on 24/7. For those that are actually layering blankets, I've been to barns many a time, and a lot of the times I saw 3 blankets on one horse, thin sheets and then the heavy blanket. You're actually making the horse colder by doing that, because the idea of a horse's hair and skin is to be able to get that winter coat, fluff it up, and keep that warm air circulating underneath that layer of hair. So that actually the layer close to the skin is warmer than if you were to compress it with blankets, with several blankets, or even a very heavy blanket, and then there's no air that can get in there that keeps the horse warm. So they get very cold and they start shaking, and you wonder why, because you got so many blankets on them. That's the problem. Okay, so let's talk about the servicing of your blankets. And you also, leg straps. Oh my goodness, I could talk to you for an hour on leg straps. Be really, really mindful. I think most of my repairs come from improper leg strap, crossing over or crossing them wrong, or letting them hang too far, or keeping them too far up. And that's a lot of where these belly straps literally get ripped, because if they roll and they're too loose, the legs get in them and there goes the blanket. So, but as far as services, don't be afraid to ask. What kind of soaps are you using? Do you air dry? Do you add heat? Do you add any other products into the, what kind of machine do you use? Do you use a commercial machine? Do you have a big extraction cycle? How many extraction cycles do you have per minute? Those kind of things. I've been doing this a long, long time, so I've found lots of different machines work better than others. Ours are professional commercial machines with high extraction. Now, the other thing too is don't be afraid to ask them what they do, because number one, you will never see me put heat on a blanket. Okay, when you wash, that should be washed in cold. And if you dry, it should be air dried. Even my stable blankets, sleazies, saddle pads, everything gets air dried unless the owner says, I want them back, and I'm okay if you throw them in the dryer. Reason being is blankets are made with at least 3 different types of fabric. So let's go with the waterproofing. You got the waterproofing fabric, which is probably a cordura or a ballistic or some type of heavier fabric. The inside is a lining, which is usually a ripstop kind of lining. Then you've got the webbing around the whole thing. Now, if you were to take that blanket and put it in a dryer and watch, somebody out there is going to say, ooh, that's why that happened. So you put it in the dryer, especially if it's a home dryer. This is going to even happen twice as bad because there isn't that room in there. So it will pucker your webbing because the webbing will shrink quicker than your fabrics will. So then you get all this puckered webbing. So if you got your blankets back from a service and they actually had puckered webbing, they're throwing it in the dryer. That also will help begin to separate your waterproofing, and it will also can damage it, or your blanket could actually be no good after one washing. With the bad detergents and then putting it in the dryer, poof, blankets could go not be waterproofed anymore. So ask your professional service what they're doing as far as their items. Now, if you're washing your blankets at home and you're using the biggest capacity front load or top load, doesn't matter, you're still not getting your blankets clean because that doesn't have an extraction cycle strong enough to pull the dirt, the soap or anything out of those blankets. It just doesn't have that power. They may be big and they may be strong, but your ball bearings are going to give out real quick. And we even have that problem with the big professional machines because if we put 3 or 4 blankets in a machine, you can imagine how heavy that is. And when you're getting that going, then you actually are really wearing on the ball bearings and the motor. So be really mindful. You'll be replacing those ball bearings and it could be just as expensive as a motor. But the problem with home machines is literally you can't get the soap out. So then that soap is going on your skin, on the horse's skin. The skin is actually sensitive. Some horses can't handle it. Is very sensitive. They become itchy and then they start rubbing their blankets all over the place. And before you know it, they're rubbing and the blanket is off, torn or whatever. So you want to make sure those soaps, which should be a natural soap. I developed my own soaps over the years. Remember, I've been doing this in 2004. The company's been around since 1995. Even back then, the soaps that the original owner was using were very, very delicate soaps. But the thing is, mine are actually even more so because I want to take care of your blankets. So make sure and find out if you're using Tide, Gain, all that stuff, you're ruining your waterproofing real quick. It'll eat it up. And not only with that and the pH and everything with the ground and the skin things going on with the horse's skin, all that will eat it up. So just know what soaps you're using. And then also too, the dryer, again, no drying. If you find a place where you can hang them and air dry them, that's the best thing for it. So that is pretty much a lot of what I would say as far as questions to ask your services. Don't be afraid. And also ask them, how much do you charge? And the thing is this a all-inclusive price or is this you're going to add more and more on? For example, you can come to my service and have a wash and a wash only. Some services will say you have to do a wash and a repair, and then there is a larger charge just for the repair. My minimum starting November 1st, because my prices are going up November 1st, 2020, just because it has to do to cost of goods. And I haven't raised my prices since 2015, and before that, when I bought the company in 2004. My delivery fees are still free for most places unless you're outside of the Portland metro area, and then it's still minimal. It's just to cover my gas. Horses are expensive. I don't want to do that to you guys. But the thing is, ask how much their fees are. I have a spread. I have a flyer I give to everybody that has my prices, so that all of a sudden you don't have sticker shock. And my minimum going up November 1st for a repair is $8. So most of the time, ask them what their minimum is for a repair. Ask them what kind of water repellent do they use, and I'll talk about that next. So don't be afraid to ask how much it is. I do not go over $25 on any repair without your consent, because a lot of the times when I get a blanket in and I see the waterproofing is no good, but it might be good for one more season, I'm not going to put more effort into that blanket than what the cost is. Because if it's going to be over the cost, you can go buy a new blanket. Pretty much that's it. Now on your water repellent, now I'm going to educate you a little bit. Waterproofing, because everybody says, can you waterproof it? Waterproofing is the melding process of when they manufacture your blanket. It is a layer of waterproofing material that is heated and stuck to your fabric. Any service cannot do that unless they're a manufacturer, so they are water repelling. So let me educate a little bit about water repellents. There's several kinds out there. And Nick Wax, a lot of people use Nick's Wax. I don't prefer it only because, one, you have to put it in either on a wet product or you have to put it in your wash machine. And to me, that's adding goop and gunk to my machine that really could probably create more buildup in my machine. I don't want to do that. Also, it smells like Elmer's glue and it's nasty. There's also a product that we use. We use a silicone-based product. It's a very heavy commercial product. Usually you have to use a respirator to use it. And that is more of a professional, heavy duty water repellent. Costs a lot of money a gallon, but I use it and I've used it since I've owned the company and prior the first owner. And I see a lot of good effects to it. It lasts longer. It lasts in heavier rains and things like that. How much is water repellent? It all just depends on the product that they're using. Nick Wax is a lot cheaper product and you probably will pay less for water repelling. Mine, you're going to pay $13 to $16 for a water repellent, but you're getting a heavy coat and it should last you at least the winter, depending on how much it rains, right? So ask your service about water repellents. And also too, with water repellent, what that's doing, some people will come to me with a brand new blanket and say water repellent. Well, if you have a brand new blanket, it shouldn't have to do that. But with water repellent, it actually helps protect the coating of the waterproofing. Does that make sense? So what you want to do is, if your blanket is getting older and you're going to want to keep it, Rambos are really popular. Horsewares are popular. And the thing is, a lot of them are being made in China. It's not China's fault. I could go into another video for that, but I'm not going to. But the thing is, when you water repel it, it is helping protect that waterproofing to last much longer. And it all, again, depends on what kind of waterproofing you're using. So don't be afraid to ask these questions. You're always welcome to email me, text me, Facebook me, anything like that. If you were wanting, I will say almost every service out there, if you want a repair done, you have to have a clean blanket. Whether they require you to use their service to clean and repair, it does have to be clean to go under our sewing machines. That's for any service. Our sewing machines are very big industrial machines, and they're very expensive to have a repair person to come out and maintain them, as well as fix them. And I really don't like to have them come out, because then my machine is down. I have to use another machine. I don't like it. So please make sure that your blankets are clean. If you have a question, at least for my service, you can text me a picture of whatever it is, whether it's a leather repair, a blanket repair. Is it worth the keep? Can you fix it? Can you not fix it? What do you think? If you have a product out there that you want, I do sell retail used and new products. I am now also well, I have been a U.S. sheepskin distributor, and I'm working on JMS to be a distributor for them. I really believe in American-made products and supporting our American manufacturers. So hopefully that'll be here this winter. So if you need any sheepskin products, which I'm going to do another video here in a second about caring for your sheepskin products and what different kinds of sheepskins there are. It's a whole different type of video, so watch for that. So I hope this was educational and helpful in your blanket cleaning and your blanket services. Just don't be afraid. Again, this is October 29th, 2020. If you're looking for service in for my service, please make sure that you book today or through the 31st, because I'm getting really busy to keep the lower price before it goes up November. I will honor anything that gets booked or you're going to plan on dropping off, that we book that with a schedule already set before the 31st, or the prices go up on November 1st. So spread the word, share with your friends, and I hope this helped. And like if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe, and let everybody know. Leather services, blanket services, retail. Also, too, if you're into leather craft, I have all the products for, well, I don't carry them in my inventory. I can get them of leather dyes, conditioners, Be Natural, Black Rock, all that kind of stuff to take care of your equipment. All right, take care, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great, great week, and please share and like. All right, take care.